It's already too late. Whatever.
Yeah, in that league,
I love you, Nathan. It's already too late.
In that league, the thing that changes...
Heads out of the barn, cats out of the bag,
We all
whatever.
watch the NFL. We all follow it, especially if you're listening to this radio show or joining us on YouTube Live. Hello, everybody. You fire the coach. That happens in 100% of these instances where it's so glaringly obvious that the special teams is a deficiency. And he's right. Nathan's right. A championship defense. A championship defense is left to fend for themselves because special teams, which in most cases they're supposed to be seen and not heard, right? Like, yeah, it's great when you have a good return. It's great when you block your one punt of the year, or once every 2 years you block a punt and you're like, yay. But of course, 8 other times you rough the punter. And so you're like, well, don't ever go after the punts. Like, seen and not heard. Special teams. And in the Browns' case, they have been seen and heard, and it is abysmal. They're one of the worst units, if not the worst, in the NFL. Those coaches get fired 100% of the time. What are you doing today, Browns? What are you doing? And you're
again,
right. At this point, what's the point?
Yeah, if they decide to let him go today, I'll go, okay.
We're not going to come in and cheer tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're not going to do
that.
Our
national nightmare is over. No, you're still 3-9.
Should we do Super Bowl? We should ask the question right now. Should we do it if they fire Bubba Ventrone today? Should we come in tomorrow and do? Would that make you feel better?
I'll do it, but I'll do it in a sarcastic tone.
Yes.
Tone.
Well, Kenny, they're all sarcastic from here on out, right?
Sometimes you mean it.
They beat Tennessee. They're 4-point favorites this week. If you beat Tennessee, who's I don't know, is it going to be another tank-off game like the Raiders game?
Who knows? Whatever. 216-474-0092. Like it's a slog. It's officially December in Berea. At least you got that.
This is when coaches in the old days used to get the axe.
Stars at Cleveland Cliffs. Yeah. Got that. Jacob, hey, can you give us our social media reactions there, Owen?
It's brought to you by Scheiben Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store.
Thank you, friend. Hey, Ken Carmen, do you honestly think Kevin is the guy going forward, or are you just hiding it because he's a good guy? Because I'm sorry, he isn't even qualified right now for the Ole Miss job. What is there to hide? What am I hiding? They're 6-23 over the last couple of years.
I think they want you to be louder.
I lost my voice last week.
No, but they want you to be loud to fire the coach. They want you to be loud that Stefanski has to go. Let everybody know it.
And then when
You're
they don't, they don't, what do I do?
You got to get louder the next week.
Oh, I'll get louder next week.
The next week's even more indignant.
I'm not going to do the pony. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do Andrew Filipponi. Go to pony. Go to pony to hear silly stuff. I'm not going to do it. I'm not lowering my standard just because the Browns are bad. It goes without saying. I'm not going to make any crazy decision. I ain't going to do it. You can call in all you want, and you'll notice, am I going to disagree? How can I disagree? They're 6-23. How can I disagree with you? They're 6-23. And either Kevin didn't decide the head coach or didn't decide the quarterback. Yeah, coach a football team. You're the two-time coach of the year. They're 6-23. You're powerless?
Kenny does have an envelope.
You're powerless? I got a list right here.
He sealed it.
I'm waiting to open it. Because that's what I'm getting ready for. At least in college football, it's fun. They're cussing out Lane Kiffin at the airport yesterday. We won't do that here. And then, you know what's the worst thing is? Because I try to learn other lessons. Like I sit there, like Sean Marash over at FAN. I'm going to get the phones here in a second. Let me just say this. I try to look at other lessons and go, I ain't going to do that. Because we've done that before. They'll hire another coach. I'm telling you right now, unless it's certain people, I am not going to stand in here and have a parade over that guy because I just think it's stupid. The Giants, they've had, 6 coaches in 10 years? If you include the interims? They've had, and every single time they do it, I see the guys at FN. Yes, Joe Judge is really different. Ben McAdoo, watch out for that guy. Oh, Brian Daboll's tough as he, and then by a year and a half in, they're sick and tired of the guy. I can't do it. No, looking for coaches sucks. But at the same time, guys, you're 6-23. So if you called in and said it, how do I fight you? I can't. It sucks. The whole thing sucks. The special team sucks. The offense is terrible. The situation is bad. Merry Christmas. Well, there's nothing else you can do because the time for change, as Anthony had said, was probably back then. And now you just got to let this thing ride out and just be madder and madder as the weeks go on until you just don't care anymore. That's what you got going for you. I can be mad that they're putting a quarterback in a bad spot, although I don't really think they're putting the quarterback in a bad spot, other than he's not with a good football team. But who made that decision? 216-474-0092. Tony in Mansfield. Hello.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hi.
Yeah. So as far as like organizational accountability, like Tone said, Bubba should have been fired, right? And then even with Kevin Stefanski, with just the situation, and we're not talking about putting Shedeur or Dylan in a bad situation, but just Shedeur is by far a better quarterback than Dylan Gabriel and brings something to the offense, right? So I think there needs to be repercussions just for that alone. But if we look at our organization, I mean, as far as the team goes, it's I don't know if you want to call it the trickle effect from the Deshaun Watson situation, but our team is so bad, and that's why our special teams is so bad, is because such a lack of talent, right? And I mean, if you look at our
is it? I mean, honestly, Tony, I'm not going to try to fight you on it yet. I don't know. And do I really want to go looking through the numbers to zing you? You know, I thought that before. Like, it is, I wanted to think a lack of talent. Stay with me for a second. I wanted to think a lack of talent myself, and I go, wait a minute, these guys, like, Gage Larvidan, okay, is he a starter in this league? No. But the guy's been with this organization all year. Okay, Malachi Corley's been with this organization, what now, 2 times here over this last year? All right, you put them in bad spots. Like, who's the guy, by the way, who's making plays in your special teams? It's Grant Delpit. Grant Delpit makes plays in your special teams because you would need him because you have a lack of talent. So to that line, you're right, Tony. It's like, how can I not get guys to pay attention? I'm probably coaching it wrong. And the only thing I could say is Chris Tabor isn't walking through that door.
Exactly. And I completely agree with you. And then when you look at our offense, it is what it is, right? And nothing like I would like to see, again, just for my, I guess, as a fan, just for organizational accountability, like I said, with firing Bubba Ventrone. But our team is so bad with talent, right, and focus. I mean, our offensive line is terrible. I mean, we had to sign Conklin. But, I mean, look at him and his injuries, and just our offensive line across the board is terrible. I think Cedric Tillman is really showing who he is, which is very underwhelming. He is so slow.
Of course.
He is so slow, can't get out of breaks. Jerry Jeudy is considered our number one. So it's like if we talk about the organization, we are just so underwhelmed as far as talent goes. And it's what do you expect of Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders? It's like you're putting them in a situation, it is what it is, but nothing we can do in these next 2 years will fix this organization as far as the talent that we have. It's just beyond frustrating because you watch this team and they just kick themselves in the ass time after time after time. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I'm just rambling at this point.
No, but no, you're not wrong. I mean, again, because think about it. Like, Tony, I didn't want to get mad at you over it. There's no point in me getting mad at you over a team that's pulling us apart here. And thank you very much for the call. I hope your trip in or wherever you're going is safe because the roads are terrible out there this morning. But you look at the offensive line. I thought that when they ran the ball 8 times and then let him throw it on the 9th time and they scored a touchdown, I thought it was great because you got new offensive linemen having to go in there. I got Tevin Jenkins having to rotate with Wyatt Teller. I have KT Levison playing over at right tackle there. So I got either guys who are rusty or not that good playing across my offensive line. I want Shedeur Sanders to drop back. That's why I want my guy who we've been on the record about has only had a handful of practices now. I want him having to drop back and look and trying to throw touchdowns on every pass. So again, one hand washes the other here. So this is why Andrew Berry, I can point blame on a Monday at the head coach, and I can point blame at the coaching staff, but when I look at some of the players, by the time Tuesday comes around, I got to go, what are you doing here? What are you doing with this? Yeah, I know you had to bring back Jack Conklin. Jack Conklin's in his final 5 games, it seems, with the Cleveland Browns. My offensive line is either old or rickety or bad, depending on who goes in, and I have to have a rookie, a 5th-round pick, have to go in there, a guy who has not had any practice basically at all this year, have to go back there and understand that. What was his big problem in Colorado? Holding on to the ball too long, taking sacks. Yesterday, he took 2 really bad sacks in that football game. So I got KT Levinson supposed to block for this fella. And who's his wide receivers? I got Cedric Tillman, not very good. Who else do I have? I got Harold Fannin and David Njoku, who are one's got a lot of promise, the other one's pretty good. And I got Jerry Jeudy, who we talk more about him bitching than we do about him actually catching the football. Well, who picked them guys? Who traded for them guys? There ain't enough time in the day to throw around blame for everybody. Damn, Sam, you're killing my ass.
I mean, that was another game. I said this with the Miami game that was not a fun game to attend weather-wise, but they did win. If you went to that game yesterday, I do think we've got to stop going. I've been a season ticket holder for 30 years. I've been in the Muni lot, 1,000 times. I think you need to just cite the games and the dates that you've been to, because that was a game. I mean, you looked out. Every media person was taking pictures before kickoff and said, I've never seen this place this empty like this. I think you need to be able to just cite, I was at that 49ers game. And it didn't end up like the wind, it was gusting, but didn't end up being the snow and the rain, that wintry mix that the forecasters were thinking 3 days. So the forecast changed a little bit. But kudos to the people that actually went to that game yesterday.
I knew a lot of people who went to the game. What's it say about me and my friends?
Gluttons for punishment,
Yeah,
right?
apparently. Well, gluttons in some way, but gluttons for punishment in others. The last guy, the first two were really funny and correct. The last guy we played there, he was desperately mad. He was also right. And he makes you more right about what you said, because I loved how you said, like, special teams should be seen and not heard. And you lose a lot of games based on special teams. I mean, field position, a shank punt here or there. There's lots of games but it's not supposed to be this obvious. It's not supposed to be so brazenly obvious every game. Every game. And I can go, they're old Mother Hubbard, you don't have a lot of talent there. And they don't. They're not a deep roster, and they're not very good as it is. But it doesn't mean these guys can't be coached. I mean, we're talking about running lanes here. We're talking about assignment football. And if I can't get them to pay attention, and I know you wanted to say something. If we can't do assignment football, then what are you there for? What are you there? I don't need to make excuses for you. But now you've gotten to the point where, again, you were right earlier today, Tone. You've been right about a lot of stuff. There's one thing I think I'm going to disagree with you on, but you've been right about a lot of stuff. And when the time to do it was back then. Now it's not going to make me feel any better if they fire Bubba Ventrone at the end of the day. It ain't going to make me feel any better at all. The time to do it, if you were going to do it, was back earlier in the schedule, not now. Fine, 3-9. What's that going to fix, if anything? We're still fighting to get to where? Where are we fighting to get to now? Like, sometimes the struggling becomes apathy, and then that begins to take over. And the only thing I could think of is that if you really wanted to do it, and I wanted to look at this not emotionally and angry and bitterly and cynically like I have been over the last 40 minutes, is that I could look at it and say, well, okay, Kenny, you said yourself, your defense is playing against its own football team. I mean, good God, you're playing against every team you play against, and you're playing against 2/3 of your own football team. That's not fun. All right, that's one thing. Two is that I'm putting young people in a bad spot to have to clean up for this. I ain't just talking about Shador. I'm putting young people in a bad spot to try to clean this thing up. That's another reason for it. There you go. I got 5 games left in the season. There is a responsibility I have to my team. There is something of that to be said. Okay, I'm with you. But I think by Tuesday to Wednesday, not really fist pumping because you let go of Bubba Ventrone. That ain't going to happen.
But would it all, obviously it doesn't mean anything for this season, but is there any element of, oh, okay, they finally understand, like, there are stakes, there are consequences. Like, because at the end of the year, whatever, teams go through their firings and hirings in the offseason. Like, that doesn't make you unique or anything. I mean, they call it Black Monday, right? Every year in the NFL when there's all those firings after the final game. But if it happens now, is there a little more like, oh, there is some gravity to some of the stuff that's happening with the Browns? Like, they're not just being allowed to, be this bad in consecutive years and nobody falls on the stake.
I would think so, but I don't think that happens until January.
But there's
you're
no
talking about
rule.
accountability, right?
Yeah, but there's no rule that you can't fight. Like you have to play
you
it
can
out.
let go at anybody at any time you want to. I mean, this is the National Football League. People get let go for crazy reasons all the time. But I just don't think any of this is happening until January. And I think and there's some people, man, I know we haven't really talked a lot about quarterbacks today because we've been mad about, just an inept situation on fourth down and a half a yard. The special teams as well. We've been yelling about the coaching staff. I mean, we can yell about the quarterback all we want. I'll just say it. I mean, again, if you get rid of this guy at the end of this year and you're bringing in new people, I think there's a clear line between how the general fan thinks, how the Shador fan thinks, and how the NFL thinks of Shador. And I don't know if that's the best thing. Got to tell you.